Backstreet Salvation. I want to give a shout out today, and I hope that your weekend has been a very blessed one. So, today we're going to start off with a story that is a little late, giving where it's at and how it is, time to prepare or time to just look and possibly mount up and help. We have a very rare event going on right now. Uh, I'm not quite sure the complexities of how rare it is, but as you can see with the background, we are going to be talking about two, not one, but two hurricanes that are going to be hitting the Gulf Coast. That is rare. What's even more rare is they're hitting at the same time. Quite possibly. At least the models that they are showing are predicting that anyways. And who's going to disagree with artificial intelligence? Who's going to disagree with the simulations? I mean, there are some things we can disagree with on those simulations, but we'll just take it from the weatherman that sticks his finger out there in the sky and just says, hey, this is what's happening. But anyways, let's have a little peek at this, shall we? Alright, so now what we have here is we're going to call this two hurricanes, okay? So this is called the Fujiwhara Effect. What happens if two hurricanes combine? Now this is what is going to be happening. You have Reuters and you have the Washington Post. So we're going to take it from these and then we'll come back to the Fujiwhara Effect and we'll get more into the details to find out exactly what it is. So let me get this up here. Get up a little bit closer for you all. There we go. Alright, two storms ahead of the U.S. Gulf in rare hurricane season event. A pair of tropical storms forecast to become hurricanes earlier next week are headed for the United States Gulf Coast and will spin over the Gulf's warm water simultaneously. A rare weather event that could cause massive disruption as they make landfall. Well, yeah, it's going to cause massive disruption. I mean, we already have some lockdowns going down in Texas. We already have the contagion going around that's affecting everybody's lifestyle. It's pretty much ruined the summer. I mean, I'm sure that you can agree to that. I really don't agree with how the weather's handling this stuff right now. Let us get over at least one freaking thing. Could you please possibly let us get over something? So now, let's check out this a little bit more. Man, that's a devastating little picture. Looks like she's swimming on a lake or something, or walking close to a lake. There have never been two hurricanes in the United States Gulf of Mexico at same time, according to the National Hurricane Center. The closest event was in 1933. Boy, those dates, I'm telling you what, we have a lot of similarities between 1900s, the 1920s, the 1930s. We have a lot of similarities. Not only with demics, I'm not going to say the first part of it, but we'll just put a pan in front of that demic. And now we have what we call, maybe not weather is similar, but we do have a lot of things that are happening all at once. 1920s, 1930s, of course, we already know that we had a world war. Look at the tension that has caused. And I'm pretty sure that we do have sayings of a world war going on right now. But anyways, I just wanted to bring to light that the 1900s and 1920s, 1930s, there's a lot of similarity. Anyways, let's continue. The closest event was in 1933 when a major hurricane made landfall in South Texas, while a separate hurricane weakened to a tropical storm after crossing the Florida peninsula. Now, I'm pretty sure these storms are not weakening. I'm pretty sure they are gaining. They went from tropical storms to becoming hurricanes. Yeah. The last time two cyclones were in the United States Gulf of Mexico was in 2002 when Tropical Storm Faye and Tropical Depression Edward overlapped for about 18 hours, according to the NHC. Tropical Storm Laura and a separate tropical depression brewing near Honduras could approach the Gulf Coast as hurricanes next week in an area spanning Texas to the Florida Panhandle, according to the National Hurricane Center. Now let's see, when was this made? This was done about 2-3 days ago. So that's this week coming. So if you know anybody down in Texas or down there by the Gulf, or even in the Panhandle of Texas, you might want to tell them to prep up, get some boards, and get some provisions that they might need to help them out. I mean, if you could send them a little donation or whatever, possibly, whether it be food or finances, let's try to pull through this. I mean, we can all disagree on one thing, a contagion, but we cannot disagree with some hurricanes coming and the whole perplexity and damage that those things will bring. I mean, come on now. That's the one thing that we are going to see, and it is going to be massive with any storm, especially a hurricane. Now, where I'm from, you don't get the hurricanes, you just get the thunderstorms and tornadoes. But I'm telling you, some of those are nasty. And from my understanding, hurricanes are a little bit more amplified of those. Alright, so meteorologists say there is still a lot of uncertainty around the systems and how they develop and move in coming days, particularly as they cross land. Both storms currently look on a track to remain separate. However, an interaction between the two could change their intensity or trajectory. More than likely, one will become stronger and inflict more vertical wind shear, causing the other to weaken. But if they stay of equal strength, then they will probably prevent each other from getting really strong. I don't care what you say. I mean, anytime you combine powers, you get something very massive. I mean, let's take a look at Captain Planet. When all the powers combined, yeah, Captain Planet. So, let's just say, even if they don't combine and become powerful, they are still some hellacious storms. Let's just put it like that. I mean, that's pretty clear. Tropical Storm Laura, which is currently, oh, wait a minute, there we go. In some cases, when storms interact, they can orbit each other, and the speed of one cyclone could accelerate the other. Part of something known as the Fujiwhara Effect. Like I said, when the powers combine, you got a hell of an event. So much, they even got a freaking name for it, and that name looks sick. Fujiwhara, man. That's pretty cool. Tropical Storm Laura, which is currently east of the Antilles, was upgraded from a depression on Friday and sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, according to the NHC. She's going to predict that they're hitting landfall on Wednesday as a hurricane. Tropical Depression 14, which would be named Marco, well, hopefully it doesn't scream out Polo. Marco! Polo! If it strengthens, it is on track to make landfall on Tuesday near the Texas and Louisiana border. It would arrive around the 3-year anniversary of Hurricane Harvey, which dumped a record 50 inches of rain on part of Houston in 2017 and caused billions of dollars in damage. So like I said, even if they don't combine, they're still going to cause some damage. So we can either help financially, we can either help by support. I mean, we got to help somehow because these are coming. We can see these. There is no invisible monster. These are very visible monsters. My concern is that this doubles the number of people that have to deal with it and the potential damage it may cause. Well, of course, yeah, the whole Panhandle has a lot of people. You have Louisville, Louisiana. Sorry about that. Kentucky folks, sorry for saying that. You have Louisiana and you have Texas, let alone. I mean, come on now. Plus New Orleans. Come on. That's gonna be hit because didn't they get hit by the dang Katrina? Hell with Harvey. But anyways, I don't know how they're doing with that sustainable thing. I mean, I know it's been years, but come on, man. There's still some trauma effects going on with that. I'm pretty sure. Tropical Depression 14 is likely to become a stronger storm as it is slated to pass over a relatively flat area of Yucatan Peninsula before entering the warm waters of Gulf of Mexico, where it can gain strength. Tropical Depression 14 doesn't look robust right now, but it looks to be in an environmental conductive to strength. Right. So there we go. Now we're going to have to worry about the oil as well. I mean, that's where we got a lot of oil and everything. So let's hope that they don't hit anything big regarding the oil that's going to cause contamination towards all the sea life and everything down there. So now let's check out these two hurricanes from the Washington Post perspective. Now them right there. Listen, let me get rid of that there. Oh, now those look kind of nasty. I mean, right there in that middle, you might get a split, but Florida and Texas, Louisiana look like they're going to get hit pretty nasty. National Hurricane projected 2 hurricanes, Laura and Marco. It's not a depression no more, it's a hurricane. Too bad it wasn't called Polo. That'd be pretty cool. Hey Marco, where you at, Polo? We'll swirl over the Gulf of Mexico on Monday. So hey, we got one more day. Like I said, I'm a little late for this. I apologize. I should have did this a little bit earlier, but I got lost for time. If this comes to pass, it will be the first in more than a century and a half of record keeping. Man, I'm slow today. In a high impact situation for coastal residents, such a scenario would severely strain resources amid an already busy hurricane season. Right. The busy ocean basin is warm enough that it could even support a significant hurricane, though uncertainty abound is how the storm will evolve. When Tropical Storm Laura formed northeast of the islands on Friday morning and became the earliest storm on record, and Tropical Storm Louise, which formed August 20. Alright, so we're just going to go into past history about all this to fill up the article. Right. Having 2 hurricanes in the Gulf simultaneously wouldn't just be rare, it would be unheard of. Keep this in mind, because I'm going to jump right into that. We've never had 2 hurricanes simultaneously in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, of course, we already heard about that. Around midnight, September 4, 1933, a Category 3 hurricane was making landfall in Brownsville. A tropical storm was traversing in Florida Peninsula, according to Clausback. Boy, that's a nice name you got there. An unnamed storm also spun in the Gulf at the same time as Tropical Storm Beulah on June 18th, 1959. But that's about it. Alright, so we're just going into the past history of all this. And this was according to Friday, comparing the storms of everything, all the time and hours of the simulation that's going to say. But they are even saying that they can't even go with the simulation. Why can't they go with the simulation? Because it's so rare. That's why. But that's what they're projecting. So now, let's just see what Fujiwhara Effect is. Let's Google this up real quick. Yep, we got ourselves a couple little pictures of everything projected. Now, let's just check this out. The Fujiwhara Effect sometimes refers to the Fujiwhara Effect. Fujiwhara interaction or binary interaction is a phenomenon that occurs when two nearly cyclonic vortices move around each other and close the distance between the circulations of their corresponding low pressure areas. Alright, so now we're knowing that this is pretty rare. We're knowing, hey, that these things might cause some severe damage just because on the location. That location is where we have a lot of oil reserves. That location is where we do a lot of trade, I'm pretty sure. I mean, we got the Ohio River going into the Mississippi, so now you got the Mississippi going down. And there's going to be a lot of states affected by these hurricanes, whether they combine or not. Now, it just sucks that it happens to be in 2020 during the times that we're in. And yet, speaking of that, the times that we're in, I posted a couple days ago the signs and stars in the heavens above. You might recall that. You could probably go back and check it out. That happened to do with some of the signs and the stars. But I want to ask you something. Have you been outside lately? If you're out in a area that it's not surrounded by a city or anything, have you noticed what time the moon comes up? Have you noticed what time the moon goes down? In my area, I noticed the moon was starting to come up at 4:30 in the morning, right around when the sun should be coming up later at 6. And then a couple nights later, I noticed that at 9:30 at night, the moon was on its way down. I've never truly seen anything like that before. And I mean, I'm not going to say that every day I've watched the sun and the moon, but here I've been paying quite attention much to it. I'm just finding that quite rare in its own self. Now, wouldn't some say that the moon has to do with some of the tides of the sea? I would think. I mean, who am I? I'm not one of those scientists that can tell you that. I just go with what I heard. This is a back street kind of thing, But from my understanding, the moon does affect the tides. So if the moon affects the tides, then it would affect these storms. So now if you have a moon coming up at 4:30 in the morning, and then later on it's going down, several days later it's going down at 9:30 p.m. Wouldn't you find that weird? You can go out today or tonight, tomorrow, or even the rest of this week. I guarantee you that if you go outside and look up into the sky, you will not see anything except for stars. You will not see the moon whatsoever. You're going to have to catch that moon before the sun rises or when the sun sets. I guarantee you that. So if you could, in the comments below, have you ever seen that before? Have you ever noticed that before? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd like to know. So now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because just like my last video, I said the stars in the heavens shall show you signs. Well, let's check out Luke 21:25, shall we? Because this kind of partakes a little bit to it, I think, in a sense. So let me read. For these be the days of vengeance. It does seem like it's a vengeful time, does it not? People are getting very vengeful. Matter of fact, that word itself, vengeance. I'm going to do a video later today that is the first time that they said that in almost every movie. That's right, I'm going to be doing a little movie, rundown on one of my videos. What that movie is, you're going to have to find out, and hopefully you will subscribe so you can get a notification and find out. I do hope. But anyways, let us continue. For these days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with children, and to them that give sick in those days. For there shall be great and dread distress in the land. Is there not distress? There's quite much distress going on, I think. And wrath upon this people. Is there wrath? Are the people wanting vengeance and wrath? Why, yes, I do believe there is. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Now, if you're anything like me, you might be paying attention to overseas events going on, and let's just say that Israel is starting to pop off a little bit. Let's just say Israel is having some conflict, not just with their neighbors, but also the whole Middle East. You might want to pay attention a little bit what's going on over there, because yeah, that's somewhat key, I would have to say. Luke 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations. Last time I checked, nations are pretty much distressed. With perplexity. Yes, they are. The sea and the waves roaring. So now we have something so rare that it practically doesn't happen. It does happen, but it's so rare to happen where it's at. Would you call that a roaring of the sea and the waves? I would. I don't know about you. Let me know. Men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. Coming on the earth. Oh yes, my friend, there are going to be things coming. Oh yes. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Feels like things are shaking. I'll tell you what, this summer, I'm shaking, because I was hoping to have a good summer. It hasn't been so good because, well, I've been stuck. Yeah, it's been kind of stuck, filtered. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up, lift up your arms, for your redemption draweth nigh. You got a lot of people afraid out there. Well, let me tell you what, this right here, you shouldn't be afraid. Not whatsoever. Hold up your hands. Be proud. Be grateful. Because times are getting glorious, my friend. Epic, matter of fact. So epic that the times of old are starting to come to the times of now. In my earlier videos, when I didn't have such an elaborate little area, I tried to explain this, but I received quite a lot of criticism. Yeah. Well, I don't want to say I knew it then. I had a suspicion. I'll say that. That's why I did a couple little posts way back when I didn't have this nice little setup to gather your attention. And I hope I do have your attention a little bit. So much so that I hope that you do subscribe. At least comment down below what you think about these storms coming. Tell me if you can help anybody. Reach out to anybody if you could. But anyways, that's all I want to do for this little video right here. I have plenty more to come. So, with that being said, I hope you are more blessed than what you deserve.